nowadays it is socially celebrated to be an entrepreneur, right? Even sexy, but back in 2010, you had to be a little bit of a rebel to actually start a company. Reflect back in 2010 to the younger you. What do you now see in that person that helped you start off in the journey?
Actually, Aditya, from an Indian perspective, no, starting up in 2010 was even more taboo, if I can call it. It was not the typical path. So I remember 2010 when I decided to start up, my parents were quite worried, and one of their worries were obviously, am I throwing up my career? They wanted me to go to the US and study, do a PhD or an MBA, whatever the typical path which middle class Indians would follow. And one of their worries also was that how will this boy get married now? Who will marry him? This is, I don't know whether your audience will relate to this, but this is a very very genuine, this used to be a very genuine Indian parent worry for young kids. So 2010, that is what this scenario was. And I'm actually, by the way, so happy that the country has evolved a lot from there, where starting up is the sexiest thing you can do even in India. So like you see the success of entrepreneurs, the success of even TV shows like Shark Tank India and all of these things. People now, starting up is the thing to do. If you're not starting up, you're not cool enough. So if
That's
you're
right.
starting up, no matter whether your startup is successful or not, you'll find a very nice wife. So, unfortunately, people are maybe starting up for the wrong reasons now.
I mean, listen, I don't know Mark Zuckerberg aside, the real reason I used to join the startup was to marry Ruchi Sangvi. Okay, so I'm just saying.
See, we all have our hidden reasons. So, back then, 15 years ago, that was the Indian reality. And, the country has changed a lot since then. For me personally, the journey, the decision to start up was actually a very instinctive one. Like, I think, Aditya, for most of us, right, who, when we start up, and many people feel the reason for starting up is either fame or money or whatever. I think those things, those rationalizations come later. It's actually an instinct you feel, and you feel a connect with a certain higher purpose. So for me, that higher purpose was the Indian dream. And I did feel that that gravitational pull or magnetic pull towards doing it, doing my part in it. And that is how I got in. And many of my friends, family, etc. back then were quite worried about me, that is he. And when I told my idea to and this is 2010, by the way, when even Uber was just very very small. So when I started off, we had a very organic idea. We didn't. It was not like we were building the Uber for India. So when I used to share with my friends, "Okay, I'm going to build this." Back then, it was a website. My vision was a website for cabs and all of that. They're like, "To taxi driver ban raha hai." they couldn't they couldn't understand what this was. And then I was like, let me first build it, then I'll talk to you guys. But India has come a long way from there.